Yo, guys, it's Steven with The Forge. Sorry it's taking a while. Sorry I look a little dirty. I'm on call, so it's been a crazy couple days. Got to celebrate my daughter's third birthday, which was cool. Super happy about that. But yeah, so let's get into it. So we read Matthew chapter 26 and Leviticus chapter 1 through chapter 6. Sorry. So we read Leviticus chapter 1 through chapter 6 and Matthew chapter 26. What I want you guys to know is that the book of Leviticus can be troubling and can be basically hard to get through, right? Because it's talking about all the Levitical sacrifices. So one thing I thought about while I was reading it this time is when it says sprinkling the blood or shedding the blood, when it references anything about blood, whether it's from a lamb, a goat, whatever, in your mind, interchange it just with blood with Jesus's blood, right? When you read the word blood, you interchange and say Jesus's blood. The reason why is because Jesus paid all of those offerings, all of those moments of bloodshed. Jesus forgave all of our sin so we could live perfect in the eyes of the Father because of him, not because of anything we do other than being faithful. When we are faithful, then Jesus is just and faithful to forgive us of our sins and make us righteous as he is righteous. So when you see the word blood, interchange it with Jesus's blood. And then in Matthew chapter 26, verse 26 or 27, I find it super important. This is when Jesus institutes the Lord's Supper. And it reads, as they were eating, Jesus took the bread, blessed it, and broke it, and gave it to the disciples, saying, take, eat, for this is my body. And he gave thanks and gave thanks in the same manner, and took the cup and said, drink ye all of it, for this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remissions of sins. So when we look at Jesus instituting the Lord's Supper, we recognize that he's telling us and teaching us that the Lord's Supper is very important. That the Lord's Supper allows us to be in communion with him. That upon the first day of the week, we take communion. Now, I know some churches don't take communion every Sunday because they say it loses its importance. But that's almost like saying, in the same way, saying, I don't tell my wife I love her that much because I don't want it to lose its importance. Or, man, we don't take time to be together that much because it loses its importance. That sounds kind of stupid when you think about it that way. But when we take God and we look at the communion, we almost make him to be almost have that same thought process, meaning we take him to our levels like, man, I don't want to take communion every Sunday because I don't want it to lose its meaning. But we don't treat anything else like that. When it comes to our relationships, like, you better say I love you every day to me because I don't want you to forget about me. I don't want you to make me feel like I'm not important. But when it comes to God, it's like, hey, I don't want to take it every Sunday because I don't want it to lose its meaning. And yet in the book of Acts, in the book of Romans, it's all over the New Testament. You see that as often as they came together, they took communion. Because it's not just taking bread and juice. It's eating Jesus's body and drinking his blood and being in communion, in fellowship with him, the Father, and other believers. But when I look at Leviticus, I think of all the things that Jesus rescued me from, all the things he's rescued you from, and I think about hard days like today where I'm struggling to be present, where I'm struggling to feel like I'm enough, when I'm struggling to feel like I'm adequate or whatever it is, and then I just push. There's some days I wake up wondering if I have enough, if I am enough. There's some nights I go to sleep wondering if I've done enough, if I am who I want to be. But thanks to Jesus, I am. And it's not a burden to think that way. I think it's a burden when I think of, man, I'm the man. I got to do everything that I'm supposed to do when I put it on my shoulders. But then when I remember that Jesus is the one who carries the yoke with me, that Jesus is the one who leads me through the shadows, when Jesus is the one who takes me to the valley of the death, when Jesus is the one who forgives me of my sin, when he's the one who gives me compassion, when he gives me the helper, when he gives me forgiveness, when he gives me love, we go down the list, then the burden is lifted off my shoulders and we carry the yoke together. So my encouragement to you is, like I said earlier, when you read the book of Leviticus, don't get lost, confused, and misunderstood. Remember that God made everything available for everyone. If you were poor, you could even just give flour. I'm definitely paraphrasing that. You can give flour as a sacrifice instead of a lamb, a dove, all these things. God made it available for the rich and the poor to receive forgiveness. Whether we knew we sinned or whether we didn't know we sinned, God knew that our sins had to be paid for. And when they had to be paid for, he made the ability to do so. God's a loving God. He doesn't just tell us, like, you guys got a sin problem, you better figure it out. God tells us, you have sinned and this is how you receive the forgiveness. And on this side of the cross, we ask for forgiveness and we shall receive. So when you go up through the rest of your week, when you're reading the book of Leviticus, interchange that word with where it just says the shedding of blood or whatever it is, put Jesus's blood. And recognize what Jesus saved you from, because I just recognize what he saved me from. And when you take communion, remember, you're not just taking bread and juice. You're taking his body and blood, and you are in communion and fellowship with Jesus and the Father and other believers. God bless you guys. Sorry this video's out a little late. It's going to be cut a little different, but I'm really happy I got to get with you guys tonight. Later.